really get that sweaty, but no, I don't like saying that all the time. Not really a mouth, why can't I talk? Dang it. Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome to another episode of Red Riders Viewers Rides. For any of you who don't know what this episode or these episodes are about, this is kind of like Easy Riders Readers Rides, if you guys are familiar with that. And it's where all of my viewers or any of my viewers who want to can send in photos of their bikes to be featured in an episode on my channel. So there's a few announcements I want to make just before we get into the episode. Not really announcements, but just reminders. And the first reminder that I want to mention is about Shovel Fest coming up July 26th and 27th, 2024. So it's just in a few months, guys. This is a vintage motorcycle show and shine. It's only open to bikes 1984 and older. Those are the bikes that are allowed to register in the show. Any bike, any make, any model, any year is allowed to show up and just be a guest and just look at some cool bikes. There will also be a swap meet there that's going to be open to all makes and models. Also, guys, it's going to be great. I'm going to put a link to my Shovel Fest video in the corner here, and then there'll also be one at the end of the video, so keep an eye out for those so you guys can see kind of what this show is all about. Moving on, I also want to bring up a couple people who have sent in photos of them wearing their Red Rider t-shirts. Thank you guys for supporting me in so many ways. If you have a Red Rider t-shirt and you send in a photo, it'll be an honorable mention at the very beginning of whatever Viewers Rides episode it ends up falling into. So this episode, I want to say a big thank you to Todd and to Beth and Clay. Thank you guys so much for being big supporters of mine, and I love the shirts on you guys. I'm so glad that you guys like them too. And then a couple more quick just announcements about the episodes themselves is the Viewers Rides, we actually edit it to be viewed on a desktop or a laptop computer, so it's not very well viewed on a small screen like a cell phone or something like that. So if you do have a desktop, make a point of trying to watch these episodes on there, because that's when you're going to get your best experience. You'll actually be able to see the bikes and read the information a lot more clearly. And also, we put the photos in order of when we receive them, so that is how they're displayed. They're not displayed in alphabetical order. We don't show special favorment to anybody or anything. So if you don't see your photos in this episode, if you've already sent them in, they'll be in one of the next episodes. And if you've sent your photos in a long time ago, you feel like it should have been in an episode by now, contact me, because sometimes things go weird with technology, and there have been a couple times where people's photos have just not made it. And with all of that being said, guys, then we're just gonna get right into this episode, and I'm just gonna sit here and chatter away in the background like I always do, and like you guys seem to like. So let's just get right into the slideshow. And I don't know if you guys noticed, but I do have my floorboard on the shovel head seconding as a snack table. I love floorboards for the fact that they can second as a snack and or a tool table. And I've got my Ben & Jerry's, my wine, and my Pringles, so I'm totally set for this episode. I hope you guys have got your snacks ready too, because it's gonna be a good one. So anybody who's used to these episodes already knows that I just kind of blabber on in the background, and this is normally just my time to kind of just update you guys and keep you all on track with what's going on with my channel or with my life or just with whatever I feel like talking about at the time. I just finished pushing my bike up a slight incline because I stalled it at a light, and the reason how come I was pushing it is because I dropped the clutch, and I already know that when I do that to my bike, it's gonna be a while before I'll be able to get it kick started. And I was not into being on the corner in an intersection with my gear on and my backpack and my helmet and everything trying to kick start my bike. So it seems like it was easier to push it a block, a short block anyway, to a small hill and bomb started. So that's what I did, and I got my heart rate going a little bit. It's a pretty light bike until you have to push it up a slight incline, and then it's not so light. But I just kind of was laughing at the fact that there's all of these people driving by, and men and women, but there was like men smiling and waving at me, and like literally nobody bothered pulling over to help me push my bike. And it's not that I really needed help. It would have been kind of nice to have someone help me push my bike, but nobody pulled over to help me push my bike. And I just feel like, I don't know if that's just a nowadays thing or if that's just the way that people have always been. And I've had so many times, or enough times anyways, where I've been in a situation like that and literally no one stops to help. I guess maybe because I'm in the middle of town, people don't think that you need help, but I couldn't imagine being in that situation, like out in the middle of nowhere and not having anyone stop to help you out. It just kind of makes me wonder about the mentality of the majority of people these days. And I was thinking about this actually earlier today because I went to go put this old beat up primary chain in the cupboard with all the rest of the old parts, and it's totally like one of those things that you know is not useful. It can't be used. It's like an old primary chain that's just like you would never put it in a bike. But in the case that someone were to like break their chain, you know, and end up at your house, it would be an all right chain just to get someone home. But I save these parts that are not technically good to put on a bike anymore, but you know that they would do the job if someone just needed to get home. And I always kind of have that vision in my head that maybe someone will need this one day and I'll just be able to give them something just to get them that extra few miles down the road and, you know, and get them home. But lo and behold, I don't have any people who I think are riding around and breaking down like that and fixing their bikes in people's driveways. So I feel like I'm saving these parts in vain, but you never know. And on that note, I wanted to actually update you guys on the shovel head project of my dad's, the one that's sitting on the bench behind me. So my dad's shovel head, for anyone who doesn't know already, is a 1978 FX that we are converting to like an FL kind of. So we're gonna make it look like one of the old FLs as much we can with what we've got kicking around. And we are not making this anything fancy. We're gonna make sure that it's mechanically sound as much as we can. We're not getting into the engine at this point, but everything else, we're putting it back together so that it'll be solid. It's not gonna rattle to pieces, but it is going to be a wrap bike. So there isn't gonna be any fancy paint or anything like that. We're not gonna be polishing any metal or anything like that. It's just gonna be exactly how it is. It's gonna be a ratty old shovel head and it's gonna look so good. I cannot wait to get this thing together. And it may seem like it's going pretty slowly, and it kind of is going a little slowly, and that's for a few different factors. The main factor in that just being my dad's health. My dad just can't work like he used to, and I know that all of you guys who are getting close to 70 can relate to that. So my dad's lung condition makes it really hard for him to work like he used to. But if this would have been something that he were doing back in the day, it would have been like a couple of weeks that he would have had this thing torn down and put back together. But that just isn't the case with this thing. And it's like every time we turn around, there's something that should just be able to be bolted on that we have to like fabricate something for, just to make sure that it's going to not fall off of the bike, or that it's just not going to be like such a rattly piece of garbage going down the road. So that's kind of just what it's been like with just about everything we've had to do on this bike. And we want to put it together so that it's not rattly. There's a lot of really poor fitting parts on this motorcycle, and I don't know if that was just AMF getting sloppy. I think it was a combination of AMF's sloppiness and then just poor workmanship that this poor bike has been subject to over its lifetime. But it's kind of funny because we have this 78 shovel head, and then we have parts off of another early 80s shovel head that we are kind of using those parts to put on here and stuff. And some of the things we've encountered on my dad's bike and some of the things we've encountered on the parts off of the other bike that have completely different backgrounds, different history and everything like that. It's almost as though the same exact guy worked on both these bikes, and it's so funny. And it's just a total reflection of the fact that Harley Davidson has always kind of been a backyard mechanic special, and pretty much every single old Harley that's had multiple owners has some kind of shoddy workmanship where you can tell that the people who were fixing it were just working with what they had at the time to get their bike back on the road. Some people were just so gung-ho to get themselves back on the road that they worked with whatever they had. Some people could put in a lot better effort, I think, but if you're just working with, you know, a few scraps and you just want to ride your bike, then I guess that is what you got, and that's just kind of what you have to work with. Anyways, my dad's bike is coming together slowly but surely. We are just making sure that everything is going to be nice and mechanically sound, and that nothing is going to be too shaky on this shaky old shovel head. And then my intention, hopefully, is to ride this thing to Shovel Fest, but we're gonna see how the shakedown goes over the summer first and make sure that this motor does not need to be rebuilt. We know that the motor runs and it didn't seem to smoke or anything like that, but I don't think it's had a compression test done on it, and it has been sitting for about 5 years now. So it could potentially have a whole bunch of leaky gaskets. Leaky gaskets, I don't think prevent you from riding. They definitely don't prevent you from riding, because my shovel head's leaking out of like every area that it could possibly leak from. It's leaking so much that I'm pretty sure that my leaks have leaks. So the plan is to get this shovel head of my dad's on the road, and then I will ride it to Shovel Fest, hopefully, after I learn how to work this jockey shifter. I'm a little bit nervous about learning how to operate a foot clutch on this thing. I'm just excited to see this thing going back together. We pretty much only have to fabricate a couple more little things for it, and one of those things, probably the biggest job, is going to be making the exhaust. Yeah, we're just gonna do a super simple setup, and like I said, we're not making this into a show bike. We're not even making it nice looking. We're just making it solid, and other than that, this is gonna be a rat bike all the way, guys, and I'm so excited for it. I love rat classic Harleys. I think that they actually make the best rat bikes. Classic motorcycles always make the best rat bikes. And that is the update on the Red Rider Garage, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this slideshow. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Also, I want to thank anybody who's participated in this episode, whether it with your photos or just by your comments or your likes or your views, whatever it is. Thank you so much to all of my viewers and everybody who supports me in any way. Thank you to all of my Patreons, and thank you to everybody who's here watching right now. I hope you guys like these as a premiere. I feel like the live chat will definitely make this a whole lot more fun, and I would like to hear your guys' feedback on that. And remember, anyone who wants to have their photos in one of these episodes, you can find all the information in the description of this video, but please make sure that you send large, clear photos. Try to avoid sending screenshots, and please be clear about the information that you are including with your motorcycle. So I hope that you guys liked this. Welcome to all my new subscribers. So thank you, everybody, and like always, if you guys like what you see, or if you just like me, or even if you don't like me but you like my bikes, then like, comment, subscribe, share, do all those things you guys do, and like always, my lovely YouTube people, I will catch y'all on the flip side. Peace. Can't forget my ice cream. I wanted to mention my snacks. Frick, man, chocolate on my pants. I don't know why I brought snacks when I gotta talk. Not talk and eat at the same time. Shoot. Think about it with a mouthful of ice cream. Man, oh man, I felt weighted.